So, hello all, a very good afternoon. And on behalf of Ozontel, we welcome you on our virtual roundtable, which is Digital Transformation in NBFCs, Elevating CX and Accelerating Growth with AI led Strategies. First of all, thank you all for joining today's session, and we look forward to making it interesting and engaging with you all. We would be encouraging Q&A post our speaker session and discussion. And also, attendees can put their questions on the chat box where we would love to take it from there. Before we move on to the interesting discussion, I am happy to introduce Ozontel. Ozontel is an industry leader with a customer experience space, offering businesses a robust omni-channel platform to manage end-to-end communication flows. The platform helps enterprises to engage with customers at every touch point across voice, chat, SMS, WhatsApp, and other digital channels. It fully integrates with CRM and other business applications and offers a truly omni channel experience for customers. Today, our roundtable discussion aims to explore the pivotal role of CX platforms powered by artificial intelligence in achieving this delicate balance within the NBFC sector. Our speakers will share their insights and expertise as valuable information to us as we explore the future of CX in NBFCs, leveraging AI powered CX platform. And on that note, I would like to introduce our moderator, Mr. Jagjit Chaudhary, Regional Head with Ozontel. So thank you, Mr. Jagjit, for taking out your time today. And over to you. Thank you for joining.
Yeah, thank you, Ekta, for a quick round of introduction from my side. Firstly, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and I hope you are all doing well and are excited as I am, right, for this engaging and insightful round table discussion. My name is Jagjit, and I represent Ozontel. A quick round of introduction from my side. I come in with more than 22 plus years of industry experience in the space of the customer centricity and the customer enhancement. Okay. Firstly, first and foremost, I want to extend my warm welcome to our distinguished panelists, speakers from all the India's leading NBFC brands who have participated into this session. Your contributions are invaluable, and we are eager to hear your insights. I would also like to give a big shout out to our fantastic audience for gracing with us with their presence. Your presence here today is what makes these discussions more enriching. Your questions are engagements are highly encouraged. So don't hesitate to join the conversation. Now, I would like to ask all the speakers to give a small round of introduction. Okay, let me start with the ladies in the house, right? So I can't see the, 1 second, just give me a moment. Yeah. I think let's start with Rohit. Rohit, if you could just quickly introduce us, share a quick round of introduction with the audience. Yeah.
Sure. Thanks, Jagjit. Hello, everyone. My name is Rohit Garg. I take care of digitization and product at Hero FinCorp. Hero FinCorp is a well-known brand wherein we deal in consumer finance and commercial lending. And I have decade and a half experience in financial industry, being in NBFCs and banks. Really looking forward to having this discussion with the great panelists which we have. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Anil, can we have a quick round of discussion, introduction from your side, please?
Sure, Jagjit. Thank you. Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Anil Quatra. I am the Head of Operational Excellence and Innovation for Satin. Been with the organization for close to 6 years now. I head the business as well as the product and process for the organization. And to brief you about Satin Creditcare, we are an NBFC with close to 10,000 crores of AUM. And we're spread across 24 states and serving people at the bottom of the pyramid. Thank you.
Yeah. Welcome on board, Anil. Can I have a push? I know, you're driving. If you could just share your quick introduction out over here with everybody.
Hey, hi guys. I'm Push Prakash here. I currently work with Northern Rock Capital. I think, as you know, we are a wholesale lending organization. We have recently ventured into the retail space too. I'm part of the MSP lending team heading the sales. I have got an experience of around 20 years across banks like Citibank, the largest like judge, couple of and all those. So yeah, good to be here, and I would and hopefully value add to all of you. Thank you.
Yep, Push. I believe, I mean, your voice was a bit feeble at some point in time. I think you're losing connectivity. No worries. Welcome on board. Hi, Suraj. If we could have a quick round of introduction from your side, please.
Hello, good afternoon, Jagjit, and everyone present here. My name is Suraj Shetty. I had customer experience and learning and development for Kisht and Ring. Kisht and Ring are fintech credit platforms. So we provide personal loans and credit to customers pan India, and we're based out of Mumbai.
Welcome on board, Suraj. I see Srichita also joining in the conference. Hey, good afternoon, Srichita. Can we have a
Hi,
quick
good afternoon.
introduction from your side, please?
Yeah, sure. First of all, my apologies. I think I'm traveling and there is intermittent connectivity because of which there were initially, I took time to join. So yeah, myself, Shritita, I head growth and partnerships and strategic alliances for Kreditbee. Kreditbee is a personal loan known fintech in the country today, and we are happy to be contributing to provide credit to the masses and contributing to the financial services in some possible way. Yeah.
Yeah, welcome on board, Chita. So before we begin this session, I will just have a quick round of what this session will be all about, right? We are today going to cover the digital transformation in NBFCs, how we are elevating the customer experience and accelerating growth with the AI-led strategies, and more to do. If you ask me what we have in the recent years, what we have seen is that we have seen there is a lot of emergence of fintech and neo banking companies, which has introduced innovations and convenient solutions to the customers, including the digital payments and online lendings, right? To stay competitive, NBFCs have undergone significant transformations in their operations, aligning with evolving customer expectations and aiming to deliver the experiences. So with that, I will just want to kickstart our first keynote questions that I will be wanting to be addressed here is in the age of fintech, right, and the neo banking, have NBFCs transformed their key processes to enhance their customer experiences? So we will want to have an understanding from your businesses, right? So I will just hand it over to Suraj. If you could just throw some light on how your organizations are currently catering to this, and then probably we can step on to the other guys, right?
Hi, Jagjit. That's an interesting question. Am I
Yes,
audible
Suraj.
to you?
Yeah, you're audible, Suraj.
Okay. So I must say that NBFCs have taken a lot of efforts in terms of customer experience in the last 2 to 3 years, and I think they are at par with banks. And in case of digital NBFCs, some NBFCs are in fact are doing better than banks when it comes to customer experience. Some of the key trends that I see when it comes to customer experience in the NBFC space and in general for the BFSI space, I would say, is number one is increased use of WhatsApp for important notifications. So there is a major shift from SMS and app notifications to going towards WhatsApp as a preferred mode of communication for important notifications, not spamming at the same time. Second, I would see is use of bots, increasing use of bots, which is we started with chatbots around 4 to 5 years back, and now brands are increasingly shifting towards voice bots as a preferred mode of communication with customers because we are not just having customers in tier 3 cities and metro cities. We also have customers in tier 2, tier 1 cities in rural areas, and these customers are much more call friendly. So I think even the panelists would agree. What I have seen is at least 60% of the customers still prefer call over chat and email. And no matter how much automated solutions you give to them, they still prefer to dial a number and speak to the executive. So voice bot solutions are on is something that are slowly increasing in adoption. And this would immensely help the NBFC sector as well in servicing customers in multi-language, especially in multilingual customers in different areas of the country. As since they are already call friendly, they would be much more comfortable speaking to a voice bot as compared to a chat bot, which requires a different kind of training for them to understand. Third, I would say is sentiment analysis, which has been lacking in the NBFC sector. We have been more engrossed in servicing customers and not understanding what sentimental inputs that we are getting. What we do at Kist and Ring is we monitor sentiments day in and day out. We, in fact, there is something called customer mood that we track to understand how many irate customers are coming to us, how many customers are normal in mood, and based on this, we prioritize customers who are having an irate mood because it's necessary to resolve the queries or complaints of these customers within the next 2 to 4 hours instead of resolving them in 48 hours or instead of resolving them in 5 to 7 working days. So sentiment analysis, even with the advent of AI, as we increase automation, it's necessary that we monitor the sentiments of conversations happening so that we understand where is the right moment to get in touch with the customer with a human agent rather than continuing with the automation. So I think these are the major trends: increased use of bots, sentiment analysis, and WhatsApp as a preferred mode of communication.
Sure, Suraj. I mean, it was very insightful as per your in terms of your industry, how things are happening. I would like to have a view from more from the rural standpoint. If Pushp, you're there on the call, right? So I just wanted to have your views because I mean, see, each business acts as differently, right? And we have our customers are from different regions altogether. If you ask me, some are more focused on metro cities and tier 1 or tier 2 cities, but when we go very rural, how does that happen? How does that there is an acceptance in the technology? What is the kind of challenges that you foresee? So Push, I would want to hear from you as well on this.
Yeah, in fact, so before getting into challenges, I think I'd like to talk about first is how it has impacted the NBFC sector as such, right? In terms of the improvements in the key processes also. So let's say if you take example of NBFC, we typically are in the business of lending. And if you split the process from, let's say, onboarding to underwriting to the customer service to the closure of the loan, renewal of the loan, blah, 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 I think the major impact had been predominantly of the CX platform had been predominantly on the onboarding process. As such, this is one of the areas wherein I have seen that there is a huge amount of difference as to how we onboard the customers. Like there were times even in Citibank when I was there around 10 years back, all those applications, all those KYCs which are signed by the customer, bank statement printout signed by the customer, and then only you will be able to log in the file. Now it's a app-based process as such, right? I don't have to fill in I don't have to submit a hard copy application. I don't have to countersign on my KYC. It is being taken care by CKYC, eKYC, so whatever. So I think the onboarding process has been simplified a lot, and it has given a lot of convenience to the customer. That's point number one that I would like to talk about. However, yes, there are challenges, as you rightly said, keeping in mind India is a very heterogenic country wherein we have people coming in from different community, different languages also. So those are challenges I think we are still addressing as such. If you look at the other aspects wherein we have seen the impact of the adoption is primarily, let's say, the second stage would be the underwriting. I think that's the biggest of the impact that I have seen in the NBFC space, wherein we have used AI, ML, CX platforms, underwrite properly and be transparent at the same time with the customer. And I mean, I think customer can look at your processes, what's going on in his application as such at any point of time, right? As long as he's using the app. And the third thing that I would talk about is maybe the kind of transparency that we have built in. All these platforms, the customers, and we are able to engage with the customer well. I think customer is pretty transparent. I mean, he is able to see the information very transparently as to what's happening, where his loan application is. Let's say if he has made an EMI repayment, how it has got applied, whether it has got applied on the same day or not. I think transparency is the major thing which has come up now. If you look at in terms of how NBFCs have leveraged these technologies in past. So I think this is what I think I have in my mind right now to talk it out to the audience.
Yeah, Push. I mean, this was very. I mean, you clearly specified how the CX has helped us, right, in this particular segment, and how you have been addressing those challenges, right? Which now I want to understand. How about the NBFC's balance the customer experience while ensuring the accelerated growth? So my this question goes to Sricheta. If you could throw some light on how your business has been able to do this.
Sure. I think, your question, I think I would like to build on where Push left it. Um,
Yeah,
yeah, can you guys hear me?
yeah, you're audible, sir.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I was saying that maybe, I would like to build from where Push left, and I think we can create a good connection from there and build on your question. So basically, like I told you in Kreditbee, the entire idea was that, you have to create a fintech of scale as well. And at the same time, when banks and NBFCs have encroached the market and kind of serving those users who are credit worthy, you have to create scale out of the users where those are underserved users of the country, right? So I think AI and ML gave us a good platform in terms of how we build on our credit risk monitoring and fraud detection based on that. Let's say in a conservative setup, in typical NBFCs of the world, what happens is that you would ask for a lot of documents from the user. You would have clearly blacklisted pin codes which you won't serve, and so on. Wherein with now evolved credit risk models based on AI, you actually can know that where the customer is located in terms of what is his phone geolocation at a certain point in time, and you are very much convinced that you can actually recover the money from them, and not all pin codes are not servable based on different kind of, I think, SDK data and customers device data. We can actually know that what is customers income and customers expenses. Like, we don't have to actually go ahead and ask for a income proof or so on, right? So using and building models around it has kind of given us a scale where we have used lot of AI and ML models for credit risk monitoring of the user, and have actually we have been able to serve so much of new to credit users, which we call in the industry, and also those users who were actually may not be very good at bureau score because of technical reasons. There are flaws that happen or whatever, but those are actually users who came and repaid very well, and we could build repeat loan portfolio out of that. So I think it has helped immensely, AI and ML, if it is used properly and models are built in with a on the historic data. It really helps to build the scale. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good to hear from Srichita. I mean, your insights. Now since we have heard you guys and how technology has been advancing, right? Now with this technology, we also wanted to have an understanding how is this so when we advance with technology, right? We have the automation layer which is built in. There is a lot of automation that we do. How does that automation versus human touch is the topic that we want to understand in the NBFC segment. How does that happen, right? How do NBFCs strike a balance between automating routine tasks with bots or AIs, as Suraj had mentioned, right, and maintaining a personalized human touch in the customer interaction? So, what is the kind of striking balance that you guys see? So, I will hand over this question to Anil. Anil, if you could throw some light
Sure.
and have understanding from your side as well, right?
Sure, Jagjit. So, Jagjit, as I mentioned, that we are a microfinance company and dealing with people at the bottom of the pyramid. So,
Right.
primarily, we lend to women that too illiterate. So, close to 30 lakh customers, 3 million clients in the suburbs, in the tier 3, tier 4 village and cities. See, what happens is, in our case, this model is totally dependent on the human touch, but enabled with a lot of technology. So, today, our people go on the field, speak to the customers, meet them every week or every fortnight, collect the installments, come back, the entire journey of the customer. It's a service at the doorstep of the customer. So it's financial inclusion at the doorstep of the customer, wherein you're disbursing there, you're collecting there, and you're dealing with people who do not know how to read and write, who do not know how to do signatures, how do you probably ensure that there is high amount of human touch, who are training these people, who are training these customers, making them understand the nuances of taking these loans, what would be the flexibility of repayments, etc. And then bringing in technology, because see, what happens is the customer may be literate or illiterate. Every customer wants a seamless experience, least of documentation, least of signatures to be done. The customer is looking for least of physical presence, the reduced stats. How do we do that? So just to brief you, if I tell you, say 4 or 5 years back in the sector of microfinance, we were in an era where there was, say, least of technology being used, and it used to take 15-16 days for the entire file to get processed, the data to get punched, the data to go to the credit bureaus, the scores to come back, the same to be communicated to the clients, and accordingly the disbursement used to happen. To tell you, as of today, with the same clientage who's still illiterate at the bottom of the pyramid, we can disburse a loan and the entire documentation can be done in a single day itself. So that's the stark change that has happened. This is what technology has enabled us. So in terms of striking that right balance, when I speak about my industry, the human touch will always prevail. It would always stay there. But yes, how do you make it more efficient? How can I probably bring technology in terms of ensuring my efficiencies increase? If one of my loan officer today handles 400 clients, how I can enable him to handle 600 clients? If he disburses 10 lakh rupees a month, how do I ensure he disburses 20 lakhs a month? Ensuring there is no dent in the portfolio quality, ensuring the customer experience does not suffer. So as of today, in the MFI space as well, we use eKYC to probably using biometric and iris devices to capture the data of customers. So you do not need to spend half an hour filling in all the details. The data comes from UIDI. You do e-signatures. The journey is entirely paperless. The customer is not supposed to sign, because if she's supposed to sign, you'll have to take a thumb impression. She's illiterate. She does not know to sign. So there's a revolution around it. So as of today, it's a fine balance that you have to maintain between all of this. But yes, you have to keep in mind that the customer experience always remains a priority. So whatever you do, however you do it, you'll have to ensure that a seamless experience given to the customer, wherein the education level of these field loan officers and agents is really important. You'll have to, because the industry is really dynamic. The RBI keeps on coming with new rules and regulations. So I think staying on top of it and ensuring that you're spending adequate amount of time and energy and money on these resources would really help you to build a fine balance between all of this. And lastly, to add, while in our space as well, we have moved to WhatsApp, chatbots and everything. But again, there's a fine balance. You'll have to understand that a chatbot may be able to create or give an answer of a yes or no, or probably some open probes. But when it comes to some discussions wherein you need to have some financial literacy, some discussions around emotional connect, making the customer understand, there has to be a seamless shift wherein your bots can transfer it to a human and the conversation can carry forward from there. This is what I had to add on.
Yeah, Neil, it was very good to hear. I mean, there is so technology acts as an enabler, which really is in the case where they enable you to do your work more efficiently, and there is an automation layer that is built over, and it is handed over to. So it plays, the balance has to be right, which as per you is the correct thing, right? Rohit, what is your sense on this? I mean, how your business looks at it?
Sure, Jagdeep. So I would completely echo what Anil have said, that, for each and every NBFC, there is a different customer mix. Okay. And everything boils down to the customer. So there may be the set of customers, who would want to take the services end-to-end digital. And at the same time, there will be set of customers who would want to go phygital or via call center support, wherein they will be able to take some service via digital channels, or they would want some physical person to meet them, or should be there over the call. So this emotional connect is very, very important for those set of customers. So everything boils down to the customer mix, and what pie you are able to catch over there, that depends. And that is directly proportional to the cost effectiveness you would have. Earlier, as Sunil, Suraj and Anil have mentioned, that, earlier we used to take, say, 5 to 6 days to disburse a loan. Today, disbursing a loan only takes 5 to 10 minutes or maybe an hour. That's the power of technology. But at the same time, we need to understand and agree that there are a lot of processes, even after automating, there is no customer acceptance to that. Just to give an example, if we are getting the banking, asked from the customer, until and unless I have the net banking credentials, I will not be able to fetch it in the backend and provide, the digital underwriting to that customer, right? So there are a lot of things which boils down to the customer, but yeah, there will be set of customers who will be end-to-end digital, and there will be set of customers who would go for phygital route. So that's my take on this question.
And
Yeah, I mean,
just to,
please.
yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just to add to what Rohit said, I think the most important part is the process that we build. So automation is something that is available in the market. You can automate things. You can just go live with a chatbot in 15 days, and you can claim that your company has a chatbot. But the thing is how easy it is for the customers to use it. I have seen customers going into the same loop in the chatbot and getting frustrated. And even if I leave the chatbot, after that, nobody is going to come back to me asking whether you have left out of frustration or whether you have left just because your query was resolved. There is no differentiation on why the customer left the chatbot. It can be he got his answers, or it can be because he just got frustrated and he is busy with his work, so he's left the chatbot. So what we do here is, while we have automation, while we have chatbots, we always ensure that if the customer is not satisfied with the resolution of the chatbot, he has an option to convert his conversation into an email, and that email is sent to the email desk so that they can attend to it on priority, and they can read the entire conversations and understand that okay, the customer is not satisfied here. He wanted something else, whereas the chatbot was giving him some other results. So they give him a detailed reply on email with a resolution. And if the sentiment shows that the customer is angry, or the customer is irate, then we still don't prefer email. The email would go, but the resolution will be given over a call to the customer. So here the customer sees that the brand cares for him or her. And also there is a process in place wherein if the automation fails, there is a human present to handhold the customer. So that's very necessary on how you build the fallback process for automations.
Yeah,
Suraj, thank you. I mean,
this was really
insightful. I mean, if you ask me, this was really insightful when we talk about effectiveness of an automation-led CS process versus how the human touch model is working, right? So, sorry, Pushp, you were saying something. If you could just throw some light.
I think just wanted to just top up on what Suraj said. I think it's very imperative to know at what point do we need to have a human intervention in place. I think the bots example that Suraj has taken is an amazing example, right? So there are a lot of times when you, let's say, book your tickets through Make My Trip, or let's say many of the app, and then there are like you are interacting with the bot, and many times people like us gets frustrated because we are not able to reach out to a right kind of conversation as such. I think yes. So I think if at all we are able to understand our will become so strong. Now is the time that we should call the customer right away. I think yes, there are a lot of platforms which gives you option to get a call back, but I think what is the need of R is the customer is trying to resolve his issue then and there, right? So I think a very valid point made by Suraj. We need to know where human has to get involved and not dependent on the technology. Maybe over a period of time, yes, that might also come in. But yeah, that's maybe the need of R at this stage of time.
Yeah, but Jagdeep, I would like quote a very interesting thing even that happened with me. So I was
Please.
one of my mentor, and we were just discussing on the acquisition piece. I think we have not, as a group also now, we have not touched on the acquisition piece. So we were remembering, and he was telling us, that how the acquisition used to happen at his time when customers would either walk in a branch, or maybe, the sales guys would go ahead and find that who requires a loan, and then they will get the users, and from there the funnel starts, right? And then the digital acquisition started happening, and then he was telling me that in the Google environment we would actually choose that who to show the ad and whom not to show the ad, right? And they would manually pause the button and manually replay that, that okay, it's 12 in the night, so let's not show the ad to anyone anymore because we can't spend anymore. But today with the AI and Google USC, actually the AI model is self-learning and understanding that who is the right customer for Kreditbee, what's the persona like. They would understand from the recent data or the past data, and they would get us customers. So, and we would bring in the manual intervention maybe when actually the customer drops off, or there is really a need of the customer intervention. Otherwise, it can create a lot of irritation also for the user that, you know what, I don't need the loan right now. If I have to need the loan, I'll click on the ad, and or I would reach out to a marketplace, or I would reach out to you, and then you start your process. So I think these are also the kind of maybe the beneficiaries that have been added by the AI-led tools. And today, you know, a self-learning model like a Google UAC, I think, is the finest example of AI, where they are helping acquire customers across the industry, also helping the user to reach to the right lender in a second's time, right?
Yeah, Shrichila. I mean, this was a very apt example, if you ask me, in terms of the AI, how the Googles of the world are studying what the customers are doing and then positioning exactly what needs to be done, right? Thank you so much for these insights. Now, let me just put this, since all of us are into the customer experience and we do respect our customers, right? What we understand is a substantial volume of our business is now handled over by a telephonic communication in the NBFC industry, right? Whether it is agents or the customers. Now, agents always need to be well equipped with how they treat their customers. So, if how do you see the role of the contact center changing over a period of time in delivering such a true omni-channel kind of an experience, whether it is voice or non-voice? So, let me just put this to Rohit. If you could just have some insights from you on this, how your business has been doing this.
Right, right. So from our perspective, call center is playing a very, very important role from omni-channel standpoint, right from onboarding to servicing to collections, right? However, the very important thing is the kind of feed I'm able to provide to the call center agent. And that is only possible if I have that kind of technology, like big data, wherein I'm able to consolidate all the customer feeds in the back end right from the time he has been onboarded, how many queries and when he have raised the queries with me, whether his repayment pattern is on time or not. And accordingly, I'll be able to decide that which is the next product this customer can take from me, what time and what day I should be able to reach out to that customer, which channel I should be preferring to reach out to that particular customer. So this kind of model is very important to enable my call center agent to have the omni-channel approach. And of course, it will directly resonate with the kind of product lines which that customer is availing from me. Today, I'll just support it with one example. Let us consider that there is a guest who has come to my place, right? How I treat him defines whether he will be coming to my place again or not. Now, let us replace this guest with the customer. I'm reaching out to the customer via various means. Customer is reaching out to me via various means. And if I'm not able to treat him well, if I'm not able to provide him that kind of service in the first transaction he has taken from me, then of course he will not be coming to me again. And it will directly resonate with the kind of cost I'll be incurring to acquire the new customers. Rather, we should prefer that one customer who have we acquired, we should be able to provide multiple product lines to them, and that is only possible basis the delighted customer experience. So that's how we are moving forward.
Right, Rohit. You rightly mentioned, I mean, we are trapping the customer journey for different touch points where the customer is trying to address, right? Reach out to you as an organization. And then probably, I mean, giving him that kind of an experience is what we have been doing, right? Anil, what are your thoughts on that?
See, Jagjit, since our segment is little different, wherein the
Yeah,
human touch prevails over everything. So in our case,
right.
it has to be someone in the field going and doing every bit from starting to end. It's an assistive journey, wherein the customer would be assisted by one of our loan officer doing the entire journey. But yes, there are contact centers that we have. We use certain IVR facilities as well, some voice notifications for customers probably who turned delinquent, or probably welcome calls are done. See, what I see is as of today, we are trying to train and do some investment in our contact center agents, training them on probably while they may not be able to go to the field and provide some financial literacy, but could they do it on these phone calls? So it probably could be a longer call, but the customer could be educated to download one of our apps. So we've recently launched an app wherein it's a customer service application. The customer, even being illiterate, can just log in with a loan ID and password, her mobile number, and then probably can check her loan card, loan schedule, the previous loan history, what all payments are due. She can apply for a new loan, some videos on financial literacy, some videos on health and hygiene. So our idea is if these contact center agents can probably train these people over the calls and make them understand on that the usability of these apps is really easy. Because for us dealing with those customers, the first thing is bringing them on smartphones, then helping them understand that it's not a taboo. It's all about understanding that every family today would have one or the other smartphone. So maybe she could be her son, could be her daughter, could be husband. If someone of them is using a smartphone, probably, so catering the entire household, because you're dealing with someone wherein the customer may be illiterate, but the son could be educated, but the husband could be educated. So going forward, I think these contacts in the future as well, this contact center agents will move more towards data-driven approaches. Because as of today, if I tell you with the kind of customer segment we deal in, there are no ITRs. It's a cash economy altogether. So there are no ITRs, there are no documents. It's a social collateral where it's a group lending model where 8-10 women come together and the lending is done. So therein the data plays a big role. The devil lies in the detail. So you've got a lot of data to dissect and bisect. The customer's credit history, how much loans has she taken in last 4-5 years, has she paid on time, what is the bigger and smaller loan that the entire household has taken. So I think going forward, this omni-channel experience probably for us as well, while we keep on continuing on this human touch, these technology enablers will really help us to retain customers. There could be calls to the customers where I can understand a customer starts getting poached when the customer is probably ending the loan cycle. So am I calling the customer at the right time to ensure the renewal happens with me and the customer does not go away? So I think it's the right usability of different ways and means. How do you ensure? But yes, the human touch would always remain, and these omni channels would have to be probably used in such a way that you're adding some value to the customer experience.
Yeah, Anil, I know, I understand where you're coming in from. See, more to do with, where you are getting too rural into the segment where there is reachability issue, there are different, in terms of the education, that's an issue where the customers are not that much educated, right? So it will still take some time, but as you rightly mentioned, it will enable the technology. It will take some time, but definitely we are looking onto it, right? Let's get to our next topic of discussion where we talk about hyper-personalization in the CX, right? When we talk about hyper-personalization, what are the key challenges for NBFCs to offer hyper-personalization customer experience? Suraj, if you may want to throw some light on this, please.
Okay. So presently, when it comes to hyper-personalization, we also need to understand the data privacy norms that are existing for the banking and NBFC sector. Since we are in a highly regulated sector and we have one of the best regulators, that is the RBI. So keeping the norms, the privacy and data security norms, there is very limited data that you have about the customer. And using this limited data, it's necessary that you provide the kind of personalization that is possible to be given to the customer. So the things that we do at our level is, number one, I would say, is language. We track the language of the customer right from the stage he applies for a loan till he keeps communicating with us. So at the time of the loan journey, we track the language of the customer, which language is he comfortable with, and accordingly we assist him. Second, if he contacts customer service center, or if a payment reminder executive calls the customer, again, the conversation, based on which language the conversation has happened, we note that language, and that language is fed into the system, based on which the communication, all future communications that go to the customer are from the same language. So if customer has applied for loan and he has selected that he's comfortable with English, but still when we call him, he always prefers Tamil. Now this will be noted by the system, and we ensure that all future communications for like payment reminders, etc., are sent to him in Tamil as well, including English. So there are two languages, English and one alternate language, so that the customer is able to understand what we are trying to communicate, and we are able to get the desired results out of it, like getting payments on time or informing about his account. Second, I would say, is we use SMS extensively at every stage of the customer journey to create personalized experiences. For example, if someone drops at the KYC stage, a message is immediately sent to him explaining that he has dropped at this stage, and if he's facing a problem, this is where he can connect with, like he can connect on the WhatsApp and he can share the problem if he's facing any technical error. And there is also a link given to the customer wherein he can understand what is the process and how long does it take. Sometimes customer may just skip a process because they do not have the document at hand. So we explain to them the alternatives available and how the loan is a limited period offer and they need to complete it in the next 24 hours. Second, I would say is if someone is not able to, someone who doesn't avail a loan after completing the journey, then again, we may wait for some time. And if the customer is a really good customer, we would go ahead and offer a discount to the customer, a discount on the processing fees or interest, just to retain that customer because the customer is a very good customer and we want him to take the loan. So this is how we create a personalized experiences based on by tracking the customer journey, and secondly by tracking each and every interaction that the customer has with us. So even if the customer has during any interaction the customer has intimated to us that he is looking for this kind of a loan or this kind of an amount or this kind of a tenure, the same is noted so that the future offers that go to the customer, for example, the customer is presently at 6 months loan and he has expressed this desire or customer service that he's looking for the next loan, which should be at least of 1 year because he has some expenses which he wants to be taken care through a 1 year loan. The same is noted so that the next offer that which goes to the customer has to be a better offer and not the same 6 months offer because he would end up rejecting that offer. So that's how we use the interaction data and the customer journey data to understand what personalized experiences that we can give to our
So
customers.
Suraj, I must say, I mean, you are very apt that you don't want to lose a customer. So you're trapping the customer's journey exactly and trying to see how you can get that customer, right? You're hooking on to the
Yes,
customer. And
yes.
that's very great, yeah.
And I
To
would say, I would just
yeah,
quote a report by Bain and Company here. It says that
yeah,
a 5% increase in customer retention leads to 25 to 100% increase in profits. So retention is very core.
right.
No matter how much customers you bring in, uh, the main point lies in how much are you able to retain. You know.
The cost of
Yeah,
acquiring a customer would always be 10 times higher than
Yes,
retaining the
yes.
existing one. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, Push, can we have your thoughts as well? We wanted to hear from you.
Yeah, so I think we were talking about hyper personalization altogether.
That's right.
I think it's a tough journey. Frankly speaking, if I were to talk about it's a really tough journey, keeping in mind the kind of country that we live in and the kind of customers that we have to cater to. I think the success will predominantly depend upon whether as an organization you have really defined your customer segment and the digital strategy well, right? So just to take an example, if I'm a NBFC doing a BNPL kind of loans for salaried customers like me and you, I might have a different CX platform altogether built in, right? However, if I have a BNPL kind of facility built in for, let's say, a small kirana shop kind of customers, I think I need to have a different strategy altogether as such. So I think the success of any platform would primarily depend upon how well your business strategies are in place. If your the I would say the skeleton is not right, you're gonna fail whatever technology that you are able to bring into system, right? So I think that's if you look at, let's say, BNPL as example again, BNPL is seen as a supply chain finance for a small customer, right? Supply chain finance for a larger customer, because I've done Vistar, wherein we have taken exposure of 5-10 crores on the entity unsecured. Those customers are totally different. They don't get into app and place a request, right? Then there are customers who are like Kirana customers, customers of Udan and all those guys. They predominantly look at the app and place an order. But these are the customers who would like to pay in cash. Vis-a-vis the customers who are, let's say, bigger supply chain finance, who will make a payment through NEFT or RTGS. So I think it's all about getting your business strategy right, and then the CX platform can be built over and above to give you a super duper growth as such. Yeah, that would be my thought process.
Yeah, good to hear that, Pushp. Srichita, one thing for you, I just wanted to check on, since you have been the early adapters of the technology and got into the automation part of it, what are the challenges as you foresee in terms of the security or the data secure concerns with regard to the compliance? What are the challenges that you foresee or you have faced, and how have you overcome that?
Immense, I mean, I think, a lot of folks here would agree. First of all, I think RBI wasn't clear that about sort of BNPL thing and personal loan thing. And right now we have the regulators coming in that who's the technical service provider who can be an NBFC and so on, right? So if I talk about my company, there is an entity, Innovation, who is the technical service provider, and there is an NBFC which is backing it. So lot of customer data I actually cannot save for my future purposes or even for my current usage. So that creates a lot of challenges, as well as if I talk about the acquisition when I do it, when I am acquiring from various kind of partners, if you say for example, marketplaces like Pesa Bazaar, or even like a payment company, or from a phone company or a telecom company like Airtel, I have lot of restrictions that whether the customer has given a consent to use the data and to what level, whether we can use only the demographic or we can use only the mobile number and PAN, and to what limit can I use? Can I do one SMS, or can I not touch base the customer until and unless he reaches me out himself, or so much, or he downloads my app or not? So there are various challenges, I think, like that, Suraj mentioned. Um, once the customer is in my book and has given a certain set of information willingly with a lot of consent of his, then is when my personalization acts actually begin. Or maybe in the cross sell segment, when I start cross selling him, then I can create a lot of hyper personalization and then use it. But of course, when it comes to, I think, stakeholders, be it employees or your promoters or whosoever, I think regulators are always at the top priority, and we always believe in keeping the regulators' norms in place and then going ahead. So yeah, I think these are the kind of challenges.
Jagjit, should I add on something?
Yeah, please. I was about to ask you because you're completely from the. Yeah, please, Sanjeev.
So just to add to what Kshitija said, I think the true part is that with the new digital personal data protection bill coming in, the norms have become more stringent, because if you read the norms carefully, they say that you would need to take consent on every stage you share any data of the client. It was not there earlier, and we used to get into a lot of business collaborations, third-party vendors. Even if you see today, all of us in various ways and means, and citing to the example, Push stated very well that every organization will have to have that skeleton correct. So my hyper personalization would always be different than what Rohit does, Push does, or someone else does. So probably wherein we need a lot of third-party vendors and partnerships, probably fintechs who probably have an expertise in their own fields and probably help us in integrating a lot of stuff. So today with this new bill coming in, things have become really tight, wherein data security and going to the customer to and fro and asking for a lot of consents, then building around these SMSs, OTPs. Then, because once you speak about the consent, you'll have to build those mechanisms. Is it through a OTP? Is it through an email? Can your customer read an email? Does he or she even use an email? Is a customer SMS prone, or WhatsApps or chatbots? So I think with this, this has become little challenging. But yes, in the era going forward, this is the way forward, because unless or until the customer doesn't get a personalized benefit from you or a personalized product from you, or a uptake wherein she feels that, oh, that's a wow moment for me here, she would always want to move from one organization to a different organization. For me, the customer may stay important, but the customer looks at 80 different companies altogether and the kind of experience she gets. So I think this new bill coming in, the things are becoming a little challenging, but yes, it has to be done very cautiously. I think that is how the market is.
Got it. But Rohit, how about this? I mean, coming with this new things coming in, how have you seen the take of the technology? Is it getting into the backstage, or what exactly is the balance, if I may ask you, in your organization?
Sure. So, Jagjit, what we are doing precisely is to see customer protection, customer data protection is the main thing which any organization will have to do from regulatory standpoint. What we are trying to do is to develop everything in-house. That will enable me to store the customer data and utilize it in a hyper-personalized way with various ML technologies which we can deploy, right? More and more I will be dependent on the partner, then it will become very difficult for me to have the data secured for my customer. And of course, I will be, in the eyes of RBI to have the audits and the checks accordingly. So we are trying to develop anything in-house. Foremost, there are most of the product companies who are providing us with the technology platforms, right? Wherein a lot of things we are dependent on the partner. And what we are trying to do is to deploy their code base in our ecosystem so that I will not have to share the data of a customer with any third party vendor. But since these are the product companies, they would not agree to that because that's their bread and butter, right? And it goes vice versa. So we are yet to solve that problem. And I'm very sure that most of the NBFCs are yet to solve the problem until and unless they are end-to-end digitized. So that's our take.
Rohit, I understand where you're coming in from. You're trying to see that, seek your data and data protection and everything in-house, but aren't you, deviating from being what core company you are and trying to get into the technology piece of it? So, Suraj, your views on that?
Yeah, on you mean on data protection?
Yeah.
I think the recent laws that have come in are in a way good for the customer, because we have seen, because all of us over here are regulated players. We have been present in the market and we have been following the best practices, but there are a lot of unregulated players in the market. In every industry they exist, and it's necessary that the unregulated elements are brought in place. They are checked from time to time. Otherwise, the customer bears the brunt of it. And we have seen customers facing a lot of problems when they approach unregistered players or unregistered platforms, and they fall victim to practices that are not allowed by the RBI. So it's necessary. So data protection as well as the digital lending guidelines that are given by the RBI. I think these are this is a very good step towards, and I don't see this as the end. I think for the next 2 to 3 years, a lot of new regulations and a lot of new notifications are up to be coming from the RBI as well as from Department of Telecommunications, because now increasingly, even in Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities, a lot of digital platforms have taken up, right from be it loan apps, be it gaming apps, or be it payment apps. So with increased adoption of digital platforms, these laws, these regulations are there to come. And companies who are able to go through this period, this would be a bit rough period for companies. They have to make a lot of changes in the next 2 to 3 years. But companies who are able to navigate it effectively will be the clear winners. And companies who are not able to balance this part will clearly lose.
Yeah, thanks, Suraj, for those insights. Now let me get to the last set of things that we wanted to have a discussion around. So, what does the future look like in delivering a true omni-channel CX for the NBFCs? Over to Anil. What is your thought on that?
Yeah, I think the future is very certain that yes, the omni-channel is the way ahead, wherein I'll have to have IVRs, chatbots, say WhatsApp, any and every mode of communication with the client wherein the customer experience doesn't take a hit. So it's not about me, say, competing with 10 other players in the market and saying, oh, so and so has got into this technology. It has to be something which suits my customer segment, because the customer experience that I deal with probably has to be of the highest priority. And I'm sure going forward, a lot of predictive analysis will come into picture, wherein a lot of data we have in hand, and we'll be able to customize products, we'll be able to predict defaults, we'll be able to predict where is the customer's journey going forward. Can I graduate this customer from a secured to a unsecured to a secured loan, or probably can I address the missing middle, or say using various ways and means to ensure that the customer either stays with me or within the group company, or probably into a different bundle of products being incorporated and given to the client with a lot of data from credit information companies, credit bureaus, say a lot of reports that come from RBI. So I think this omni-channel experiences is gonna stay. It is something which we will anyhow probably need to look into it. So me being a MFI player cannot just say that it's a high human touch business. I do not do it, because to build up efficiencies, because see, cost of human touch was always there in this business. And today with a lot of technology coming in, my cost has predominantly increased. How do I take care of this cost? Is by increasing those efficiencies, improvisations, ensuring that the efficiencies go up. People are having better productivities. So I think altogether this will come through a great customer experience.
Yeah, Anil, that's rightly said. Push, what are your views on the future of CX on the omni channel?
Yeah, so Jagjit, I think I would like to talk about one basic thing.
Yeah,
NBFC is like, we are into business of underwriting risk.
right.
And this business has been there since ages, since the humanity evolved, right? What customer needs is ki boss.
I think we have lost Push. You guys are able to hear him?
No,
I
yeah.
think we're not, yeah.
Great, you can
Push.
give me. I'm losing
Yeah,
out a
yeah.
bit. Am
Now
I
it's
back
okay.
into the
Yeah,
call?
yeah, you're
Okay.
back. You're back.
Yeah. So what I was talking about was, I mean, it's a very commoditized product as such. I would say it's like there for ages. We are in the business of underwriting risk. Customer only cares 2-3 things. I think he cares about what loan amount he gets, how fast he gets, what rate he gets. Whether you are transparent enough with the customer or whether you are trying to fleece him, you need to give him that kind of comfort. Third, I think the comfort customer that wants to look at key boss, can I pay easily? Can I pay flexibility you?
Right.
How different are you from a local money lender? Like a typical Lala, would you harass me or would you understand my problem? I think as long as these are the basics of the business as at the end of the day for any of the NBFC as such. I think CX plays a larger role, definitely. And I think the CX would help us bring in a lot of transparency, bring in a kind of communication that the customer needs at any point of time. Maybe at the end of the day, when I'm wrapping up my work, I want to look at my SOA of the loan account. Can I look at it? Yes, I can look at it through, if at all I have a proper CX. Or do I have to wait for the next day to call up somebody and get the SOA, give them the email ID, all those things. So I think that's in the longer run, I think CX is gonna play a long and a far-fetched role. I think NBFCs should remain focused on what they are good at. A lot of players in the ecosystem who are good at providing the CX platforms, I think they should collaborate really well with us so that we remain focused on our job. You give us leverage to serve the customer well. I think it has to be, I mean, we need to leverage the ecosystem altogether to serve the customer. That is what I would like to say.
Push,
Yeah.
you rightly mentioned. I see there is a certain thing which Rohit was trying to mention. I mean, as Rohit's organization is trying to build in everything. So that was my question to Rohit also. Rohit, as in your organization is trying to build in everything in house, right? Getting data and all that stuff. So what my question to you was, aren't we going away from your core business and trying to get into the build the entire ecosystem in your environment?
All right. So, first of all, our core business is lending, right? But to enable lending, there is a technology which is required.
Right.
Now, if I do the CBA, cost benefit analysis, if I'll be taking a particular service from any partner and will pay him for, say, 3 to 4 years, that will be the same cost which I'll incur as a one-time activity within my organization, and it will go on lifelong. Of course, I would need to improve it on a regular basis, and I need that kind of resources and technology over a period of time, and that's where I would invest. But of course, that's the kind of strategy we are following, and we have great leaders in the organization who are taking care of that kind of technology. And that is how we are able to develop the omni-channel experience also for the customer. May it be a chatbot, SMS, email, WhatsApp, IVR calls, AI-driven IVR calls, anything and everything, because I have the entire database of a customer, right? I just have to run my technology on top of that in a most efficient way so that I'll be able to provide that kind of experience to the customer. And of course, I don't want to be dependent on any other partner for that, unless it is a kind of must. So that's how we are proceeding further. Yeah.
Sure, Rohit. I mean, valid inputs. For Suraj, I have one question in mind. Since I mean, you have moved to very advanced stages in terms of the customer experience, do we see an AI-led CX platform taking the charge? Is our question to you, Suraj?
Yes, we see that. In fact, wherever I go, people are just talking about AI. The service providers as well as the clients, everyone is talking about AI nowadays. So basically everyone is very keen to understand what are the use cases where they can have AI to begin with. I would say right now, the AI solutions that are available, conversational GPT-powered chatbots, the cost of using these solutions are still high. And these are more suitable right now at this point of time. They are more suitable if the customer base is an HNI customer, or if the journey of the customer, or if the customer there is decision making involved in the journey of the customer. For example, if I'm an e-commerce company, or if I'm a make my trip or something, wherein the customer has to decide before buying something. He has to book a ticket, he has to book a journey, or he has to buy a product, he has to do comparisons. In these cases, in these use cases where there is a lot of decision making involved, having an AI chatbot or an AI solution which can help in decision making makes sense. Second, if it's an HNI, if it's a HNI customer base, like you're selling a car or you're selling a high value product or service, still it would make sense. But if you're in a business where you're giving a product which may be low margin but high volume, say payments, in that cases having an AI chatbot to service a low margin customer wouldn't make sense at this point, since the cost would be very high compared to an agent. So I would say AI is taking up, but in the next 2 to 3 years, as the cost comes down, we will be able to see AI everywhere in each and every company, be it of any industry. AI-based solutions are there to take up. They would be taking up. They would be the primary mode of communication for any company, and after that, there would be a human touch provided. And I see the first level jobs. Contact center is the first area where AI has the best application available, and the contact center is the place where a lot of first level jobs, which is the telecaller jobs, are going to take a hit, because any job which doesn't need special knowledge would be taken up by AI in the first place. So I think the first level entry level jobs of a contact center would be out of the window in next 2 to 3 years once AI takes up. And but alternatively, there will be a demand for more sophisticated communication agents having sophisticated communication skills, and there will be an increasing demand for these agents, because queries or complaints that the AI is not able to handle would be then put up to these agents, and at this place we need some sophisticated agents who are able to communicate very well. So I think AI would take up, but in the next 2 to 3 years, not immediately. And we have to be ready for it. And it's necessary that we start using these platforms, understanding these platforms, and having them as an alternative. So my approach would be, before introducing AI to the customers, we should introduce AI to the employees. And this would be done, say, having a chatbot, an AI powered chatbot for the employees. For example, if you have a field force, you have 5,000 people running in the field pan India. These people daily, day in and day out, they have some queries. They have product related queries, they have technical queries, they have process related queries. There is some new update that has gone, they don't know about the update. So having an AI chatbot for your employees first, to understand how the AI chatbot is working, how are the cost dynamics, and whether it is helpful or not, or whether it's just a replica of the chatbot that you already have, it is just 5% better. It would give a lot of insights to you on what kind of implementation, AI implementation, can be done at a customer level rather than directly going live with the customer. So I think we should take AI implementation at an employee level first, and then move towards customer level.
Yeah, Suraj, I mean, these were very valid points. If you ask me, I mean, it's a food for thought for all of us, right? I mean, looking at our own organization, how do we empower our employees, right, through an AI? That's a altogether a different angle altogether. And as you rightly mentioned, in the next couple of years, there will be a lot of disruption, right, which will happen because of the AI. I mean, jobs may be optimized, right?
Yes.
Rightly said, Suraj. Suchitra, we have your views as well on this, the AI thing? What is the
I
future?
think,
Yeah.
yeah, sure. So I think, we break it down simply saying that, what is artificial intelligence we keep talking about in office? Artificial intelligence is nothing but, where a human with his entire past learning is feeding an artificial or synthetic medium to help us and mitigate our challenges, right? So, first of all, that is artificial intelligence, however we quote it and say it. and what are the challenges of the NBFC industry. As long as we are able to cut the cost of our cost, and maybe, like Push said, that we are in the industry of risk management and not giving loans, first of all. So as long as that area remains untouched or remains unaffected, or maybe get improvised with time, AI is going to lead, right? I think the consumer is quite liberated today, not in terms of taking loans, but if we talk about retail, holidays, or any kind of other consumer preferential choices, a consumer is very liberated. And to serve him, we need to bring in automations in place, and AI is going to take the lead there. But of course, it needs to help us cut the cost. We need to understand, and the human has to feed AI that where to use and where not to use. And since the entire industry is now so much crowded by so many players, so many NBFCs, so many fintechs, I think we don't have a choice when consumers have so many choices, right? So be it in terms of onboarding, acquisition, or credit underwriting, or collection, we will have to bring in AI-led methods to bring in the scale, and to improve the customer experience, because ultimately they are the gods, right? And we are here to serve them. But the cost and the credit management has to be done in parallel. So I think AI is the future, and we all have to evolve in some way or the other. Of course, with the kind of cohort we are serving and all, keeping that in mind, or who we are as an organization, keeping that in mind, we have to evolve and move towards AI. That's the ultimate view.
Very, very rightly said. I think we are almost at the end of this, and as each businesses has different nuances and different things to address, right? All of us will agree that technology will play as an enabler, right? Rather, it will never replace a human. But what we all of us have to look at it, how we enable the businesses through automation or AI, and AI is the future that will lead to optimization, to further optimization. That is what we all agree, right?
Yeah.
Rohit, Shrishita, Suraj, Push. Am
Yes,
I
yes,
right
definitely.
in summarizing?
That's true.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, with you.
Yeah. So let's open the forum for the questions, because people may have some questions, right? Let's look at the audience. Anybody has any questions, please
Right. So, do we
post
have
your
any
questions.
questions? Yes, please. Yeah. Also, as I've mentioned, that you can put your question on the chat box, and we would take it from there as well. Do we have any questions from the audience? Jagjit, whatever suggests, right now we don't have any questions, but you can have a closing remarks from coming in from all the speakers. And let's see if we have any question in that process.
Sure. Rohit, if you could just have some closing remarks from your side.
Sure. Jajit,
Yeah.
thanks a lot for having me here, and it was a great learning session. A lot of things were the eye opener, right from Anil to Push to Suraj and Srichita. Thank you very much for that. And of course, AI is the future that everybody of us are very well aware of. Only thing is that how we are utilizing that in improving our process. That's the key. Thank you very much for having me here. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, thanks, Rohit. Anil, can we have your
Sure. Yeah,
closing
thank
remarks?
you, Jagjit, and
Yeah.
thank you, Rohit, Shachita, Suraj, and Push. I think the views were really relevant, and see the entire course of business. What happens to us all here, either from technology or business side, is we get too stuck with our own businesses, and the thoughts do not go probably other ways around. But I think these forums probably help us to learn and understand that there is much to do, much to probably evaluate and assess in terms of getting something new in our businesses. And yes, technology is the way forward. You call it AI, you call it machine learning or whatever. And I would agree to a large extent with what Pushp has been mentioning, that your business basics have to be very clear. So are you assessing the right risk? Are you assessing your customer rightly? Are you probably enabling the customer with what all he or she needs? And then comes the customer experience. So I think customer experience is important for all of us, because we would always want to retain our customers and probably then focus on the new clients, because obviously the cost of getting someone new in the system is always higher. So I think a fruitful session. Thank you, Jagdeep, and thank you, everyone.
Yeah, thanks, Anil. Pushp, few remarks from your side, the closing ones.
Yeah, I think, yes, as everyone said, technology is the future. Frankly speaking, I'll just take an example right now. Had it been not Zoom calls or anything else, I think I would have been just landed at Rajkot airport and waited over there to complete this call. I think from Rajkot to Surendranagar, I have completed this call also, and I'm like, right. So I think technology is way forward, right? So I just reached my branch and now I'm off to my customer visit. So I think technology is way forward. And as everybody one is saying, was keep, as long as you are able to leverage it and it is helping you out, it's gonna be a good game. And I think in the financial industry space, I think it's gonna play a large role, keeping in mind there are so much of data points and all those things are involved. So yeah, I mean, good to go, and would like to see a lot of participation coming in from organizations like you in terms of enabling us to do our job better. Yeah.
Sure, sir. Thank you so much for this. Suraj,
Yeah, thank you, Jagjit. Thank you, each of the panelists, for being there. I think it was a fantastic session. My key, I think, last remark would be that AI platforms like technologies like AI and, of course, Metaverse. Metaverse was hype during the lockdown, but now we have again, I have seen people coming back on this thing. So I think these technologies are here to stay. They would slowly be adopted, but jumping on the bandwagon for these technologies won't be the answer. We need to check whether these technologies are useful for our business use cases or not. Sometimes metaverse wouldn't be would be suitable for a particular industry or a particular company, but wouldn't be suitable for another company. So investing in technologies or any new kind of technology that is available in the market without understanding the benefits for your particular business would be the wrong decision. So I would say it's always necessary to understand whether your business is getting benefited with this technology or not, even if a competitor or someone is or the best company in the industry is using the technology. It's necessary to understand if your customers need that or not. Meanwhile, before you invest in any kind of automation, there are a lot of process gaps. There are a lot of things that needs to be fixed in the manual process itself. Even if you fix the manual process to the best, it can work better than automation. So it's necessary that we look at what can we do best with the existing process and then go for automation. Because automation has failed miserably for companies who have directly switched to chatbots without understanding how to shift. They have created chatbots, they have created email bots or voice bots, but the customer is not satisfied at all. They keep cribbing about the bad service that is given to them. So it's necessary we take up any technology after understanding it very well, and we try to improve the processes that we run. And technology is should only be a layer to access that process and not an alternative to that process.
Rightly mentioned, Suraj. I really appreciate your insights on that. Suruchita, some closing remarks from your side, please.
I think, I would just like to thank all the panelists. Great share of learning that I had. And I think we all could conclude on few very good points, which are not just going to help us at our work, but also I hope help the audience on our topic. And thanks to Jagdeep and your organization to set this up. It was a great session. Thank you. And then also the organizers, they have been following up and organizing it well. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Lastly, I just wanted to have a thanking note for each one of you. Thanks, Rohit. Thank you so much for those insights that you have shared with with respect to your business, how does that function? Where is your organization going in terms of the technology? And thanks to Anil, your inputs were very insightful in terms of our understanding on what is next layer of innovation that is required that we should put on, right, in your particular segment of work. Similarly, Push, it was very insightful in terms of letting us know how exactly the basics of the business needs to be worked upon, and the technology acts as an enabler. And Surajesh, thank you so much for Suraj for throwing out the lights on the employee empowerment, understanding the processes, and how do the technology help in optimizing things rather than, I mean, just putting it for the namesake. And thank you so much for your time as well and your insights. It was really insightful and very knowledgeable session for us as well to understand where the NBFCs are currently going, and what kind of innovations we should be developing, and try to help you to enable those technologies and serve your customers. And lastly but not the least, I mean, I like to thank each and every one of the organizers without whom we all will not be able to get on this particular podium, right? So thanks Ekta, thanks Prantnik for your support out over here, and thank you the audience for giving us an ear, or maybe, I mean, your valuable time to hear us out.
So yes, on that note, also I would like to thank all our speakers, Mr. Rohit, Mr. Anil, Ms. Srichita, Mr. Suraj, and Mr. Pushpa, for taking out your time today and making this so engaging and interesting. Jagjeet, thank you so much for wonderfully moderating and asking lovely questions with the speakers. Audience, of course, your time is precious, and thank you for joining us today. We shall be sharing the entire session link over a thank you mail, and would love to reconnect you for one-on-one brainstorm session with Ozontel team for their wonderful solutions. So on that note, once again, thank you and have a lovely evening, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye. Take care.